Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, close to a year ago, I did a best and worst luxury designer shoe video comparing shoes that I loved with shoes that didn't work out for me. At the time, most of my bags were still relatively new to me, and I wasn't really, able to give them that critical eye that you get sort of after you've had something for a while. I was still very much in the honeymoon phase. So today's video, I'm going to be doing an updated best and worst luxury buys video. In it, I will be including some bags and accessories and other things as well. I'm going to include a few pairs of shoes because a few of them are worth including. So I think I'm gonna get started. So if you're new here, hello, and my name's Catherine, and my channel is KWSHOPS. I do videos all about fashion, luxury, and shopping. I like to do a lot of shopping tips to save money. So if you are interested in any of those things, if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button down below, and also the bell icon will notify you every time that I post a video. Someone mentioned to me that my videos weren't coming up in their, YouTube feed, so if you do want to see them, please hit the bell icon to get notified when I do upload them. I upload videos once a week. Since my last video was all about shoes, I'm just going to talk about a few pairs of shoes right here, and I'm going to start them off on a positive note. So honestly, I have largely moved away from purchasing designer shoes as of late. I mean, that's not entirely true, but I definitely have been through the ringer with a few pairs of shoes that I spent a lot of money on, and now I'm much happier than I thought I would be purchasing a lot of shoes on the lower end. However, there was one pair that I had just purchased when I uploaded that last best and worst video, and it was these. These are the Gianvito Rossi. I think these are called the Carla Pump. They are a round toe 4.5-inch heel with no platform, and they're made in nude suede. So while at first I was a little bit leery and a little bit worried about them being suede and being a light color, because as you know, if you have been with my channel for a while, I hate suede because I think shoes should not be made in suede because they wear really easily and they can get dirty. But I have sprayed these with suede protectant and they look pretty good as a result. I mean, the camera always washes out most of the stains on things, which is, I guess, okay. But they've held up incredibly. The reason I love these so much though is because they go with absolutely everything. I can wear these with jeans and a t-shirt. I can wear these with just pretty much any dress. I will say that since they are nude, it does make it a little bit difficult to pair with a few of my bags that are sort of a nudish neutral or taupe color, but I have plenty of others in other colors that do go really well. They're just really comfortable, they go with everything, and they've been able to carry me from season to season to season to season, and I'm really happy with these. Gianvito Rossi does still make a few pairs that are similar to this. I think they have different names, but I do really recommend Gianvito Rossi. Definitely is my favorite designer shoe brand at the moment. So now for a worst. These are a pair of shoes that I got for a really great deal on sale, and these are a pair of Valentino little, I guess, thong sandals. They're made of leather with, like a leather lining and leather sole, and they also have this little brass detail of what is, I presume, to be what a griffin is. Someone asked me once if they were a chicken, and no, they're not chickens, but that's not why they're on the worst list. The reason they are is because I'm going to show you them here briefly, and yeah, they look really beat up, and you would think that was because I had worn them a ton, and I really haven't. They looked like this immediately, like after I'd worn them one time. So I just really, I mean, obviously when you're wearing them, it doesn't really make much of a difference what it looks like underneath, and this is what they look like on the back. I mean, they are comfortable and everything, but a pair of shoes shouldn't look like, I mean, these shoes look like they're 100 years old, and I've only worn them less than 10 times. And the next shoe that I'm going to talk about is one that I have very mixed feelings about, and it may surprise you to hear this, but it's the trusty Chanel slides. Now, if you follow my Instagram, you will know that I have worn these shoes basically every day ever since I bought them. I posted a reveal video of when I bought these shoes in, I want to say, February or so, and what can I say about this? So this was the first pair of, really expensive designer flat shoes that I bought. The Valentino ones were relatively expensive, but for the deal that I got for them, I think I bought them for maybe, I want to say, under $200, and while that's a lot for me for a flat shoe, it didn't really kill me. These, on the other hand, were a completely different story. The reason I have mixed feelings about these is because they are super cute. I get a ton of compliments on them, but I just really don't feel like the quality is there, and I don't feel like I'm happy that these were as expensive as they were. What can I say? I bought them in February, and so I think I've had them for maybe close to 6 months, maybe a little bit more than that. I mean, I don't want to show too much of these because they look sort of gross. I mean, how does that look? Yeah, okay. I've had them for 6 months, and I've already had to take them to be resold and to get fixed. And I'll show you the footage here. If I still have it of me taking it in for repair. Hey guys, so I'm about to bring my shoes in to Chanel for repair. Hopefully they can fix them, or they can do something about them, because I bought them. I just checked my receipt, and I bought them on February 2nd. Today is May 29th, and I'm already, like, granted, yes, of course I do wear them a lot. They probably are my most worn shoes over the last 3 months, but I just was sort of expecting that they'd be a little bit more durable than they are. I'll show you in a second what happened to them. So let me just show you really quickly. So this is the shoe. I'm sorry, I really apologize if it looks gross, but I mean, they're white shoes and I wear them all the time. So what happened basically is that it's supposed to be like this, and now it's sort of like loosening up here, and I just don't want them to break any further. I just want to nip this in the bud before it has the opportunity to get any worse. Like, I hope you can see the amount of difference on that. Yeah. So I brought them in. They put new soles on the bottom, which was, you know, fine. I don't really think it needed it, but they put some type of adhesive and glued them back together. They fixed it a little bit by putting in some glue, but the problem is starting to happen again, and I know that it's just going to get worse. So I just think that, yeah, the quality really isn't there. Like, I just feel like I've had shoes from Steve Madden and Zara that I have, you know, worn to death and, you know, killed, and they've lasted a lot longer than these. I know I've only had these for 6 months, and I know I wear them all the time, but I just don't feel like, you know, this time next year these are going to be salvageable and I'll be able to wear them. And considering how much money I spent on them, like, I'm a little disappointed. That espadrille will not be, most likely not be taking me into next spring and next summer. I don't know, when I spend $700 on shoes, I expect to be able to wear them for more than a season or two. So maybe that's just me. Like, I'm already thinking ahead in advance that, you know, I'll have these, you know, double C's taken off and, like, made into earrings or brooches or something. But yeah, so unfortunately I have to sort of tentatively put them in the worst category. Now on to a best accessory. I'm gonna quickly show you a couple that I'm really, really loving, and the first one will be no surprise to you at all if you've been with my channel for a while, is this. This is the Louis Vuitton RABAT clay, and I use this as a wallet. So this is a discontinued piece. I've spoken at length about this, I feel like, and it just has 2 snap button closures here and then opens up to a whole bunch of room. What's great about this is that it's small, it's really compact, and it's really thin, as you can see, and this is definitely more my style when it comes to card holders. Something that, you know, flips open and is easy to get in and out of. I have looked at a number of, you know, actual, like, slide card holders, and I know that after a while I would get annoyed with, you know, keeping my cards in there and having to, like, dig into it in order to get my cards out of it. And, you know, a lot of the time they can get really wide if you put too much stuff into them, whereas this is really restricted in how wide it will allow itself to get. So it's never going to get any bigger or smaller than this, and that's why I think this is just perfect. This is the perfect wallet. If you ever find one, this is a discontinued piece, but if you ever do find one on the pre-loved market, snatch it up, or I will, because I'm already looking at, like, the future and buying a second one. I know that there is a tag out there of what is a piece that you would repurchase immediately, and hands down, without a doubt, it would be this thing right here. But yeah, this is just the perfect wallet for me. There was a point where I owned a larger wallet. It was the Louis Vuitton Victorine, and I unboxed that on my channel and everything, and I used it for a number of months, but I just really didn't feel like I needed that much wallet in my life, and so this for me is absolutely perfect. One of my other favorite SLGs is this here. This is the Louis Vuitton Mini Pochette. And I bought this in, I think, March or April. This has just been a great catch-all for inside of my bags, and it fits into a lot of my smaller ones. Some of my more mini, more compact bags it obviously won't fit into because it's almost the same size as them, but I really think this is great. It holds a ton of stuff. Like, what do I have in here? Yeah, I have like an umbrella bag, a mirror, some 2 lip products, hair ties, you know, Bluetooth remote, all kinds of stuff in there, mints, and I also have my beloved, you know, USB tassel charger clipped onto it. That's normally where I keep it. This I've had for maybe 4 months, but I know that me and this piece are gonna be in it for the long haul, so I'm definitely gonna include it in the favorites. Okay, so my next not so favorite, I'm not going to say it was a worst ever because it really, I don't feel like gives this piece enough credit, and that is the Louis Vuitton Pochette Clé. I bought one of those maybe a little more than a year ago, and I did keep it and I did use it for a really long time. Everyone seems to love that piece, and I think it is a great piece, but in my collection it just became redundant after a while. That was one of my first Louis Vuitton SLGs that I purchased, and I did really use it for a long time and love it, and it did wear very well, and it was really useful and practical. But as time grew and as my collection grew, my collection of, you know, SLGs grew, it became just redundant. Number one, its purpose is to hold keys, and I'll leave the video to the reveal of my Pochette Clé and like how I used it. And one thing I really didn't like was how the keys looked when they were on that hook. Something about it just didn't please me aesthetically, and I hope I'm not being too picky, but I just didn't like the way the keys look when they were put onto the hook, so I would try to put them, like, you know, further down on the chain, and you know, I added crap onto it, and then all the compactness obviously was lost when you add things to it. A lot of people use the Louis Vuitton Pochette Clé as a card holder, and since I have this thing, it really wasn't necessary to do that. Even if I was going compact, I can always just grab this. And then when I added this piece to my collection, and then later my Chanel key holder, there just really didn't seem a place for that piece in my collection anymore. And I'm not someone who likes to have a whole bunch of like random unnecessary things, because I think of it as money sitting there. So I did sell that piece, and yeah, that's just one I didn't love it as much as everyone else does. Yeah, it wasn't useful for me, and I'm gonna say that a lot of people love the clay, but I think it's a little bit overrated, honestly. I think there are better pieces to have, but that's just me. Let me know in the comments down below if you like the Pochette Clé or not, because after I bought a few other pieces, I just really didn't feel like I needed it anymore. Oh my gosh, okay. So the next one is bags, and I have so many bags that I absolutely love, and I'm not gonna spend time talking about each and every single one of them, even though you know I could, but I am gonna give a quick shout out to this one right here. This is my Louis Vuitton St. Cloud in the GM size, and you know when you know, this bag for me was love at first sight. You know, I told the whole story about it being from the same month and year that I was born, which is really cool. But even outside of that, even if this was like a random year on a calendar, like this is the most insanely practical bag that there is. I wore it today to go to the grocery store, and just any day that I'm not going to work and need to carry my iPad, I reach for this immediately. It's really comfortable to wear and lightweight, and I just think that it's awesome and incredible, and I love it. But I only bought it a month ago. I'm gonna give the real best luxury designer bag award to this one right here. And while it could go to a number of bags that I have in my collection, it's gonna go right here. This is the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer bag that, if you've seen my videos, you know how much I love this. And yeah, it's just a great practical little mini piece, and I think that, like I've mentioned before, there's not enough information out there about this bag. I've done a review on it already, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but just the practicality and just the amount of things that it fits into it are just so shocking. Like, I knew when I saw this bag that I really liked it a lot, but I was really surprised that I was going to love it as much as I do, and I'm so happy. I love everything about this bag. I love the color, I love the leather, how it's very carefree. This pebble detailing to it, so it's just scratch proof. I brought this out in the rain. I mean, not like, you know, huge downpours, but you know, it has held up pretty well in the rain. And it does also, it's this small and this compact, but I can fit all of my things into all of my like essentials into it, including an umbrella. So I'll leave you a link down below of me putting an umbrella inside of this bag. You gotta check that out. Like, this bag to me is just everything. That was really hard because I love so many of my bags, but I think that was like the surprise winner. Anyways, now for the last one, and that's a bag that I didn't love, and I liked it. I definitely liked it, but I grew to not like it as much over time, and that is one that I've sold recently. I've sold a bunch of my bags recently, and I mean, I'm not going to go through each and every single one that I sold because a lot of them that I did sell just weren't really working out for me, or I didn't love as much, and it wasn't really anything against the bag. But there's one that stands out in particular that I am going to say is definitely for the worst list, and that is the Balenciaga part-time. So me and this bag just did not click at all. I was really happy when I bought it, and I think what happened with this bag was that when I first started working for the company that I work for now, I was researching bags, and I always saw that this bag was like I would say a reasonable price point. And since I had just discovered designers and I didn't really know much about it, I lusted after this bag because it was one that was attainable. I think this was the part-time usually goes around the 500-ish or so range. So I built that one up in my head saying that, oh my god, it looks so much like the city bag, which is almost twice the price. This is probably this is the one that I'm gonna get. It's gonna be awesome. And it ended up not being awesome because what I discovered after I bought it is that I really love structured bags. I really much prefer a structured bag. I like bags that keep their shape, that I don't have to fiddle with a whole bunch. Number one, I did wear it a lot and it was very comfortable to wear, but the only problem I think I had with it was that if you were to unzip the bag and have it open and then sit it down on something like a table or a chair or anything like that, the leather would just collapse all around your things. So your things would no longer be inside of the bag. The leather was just so soft and supple, and people really love that slouchy, soft leather. It just didn't hold your things in it unless you were physically holding the bag, and that just 100% did not work for me at all. So I'm gonna try and demonstrate it the best way that I can. And imagine that this is the Balenciaga bag and this is that super soft leather. Obviously this is fabric, but I have my iPad inside of here. When I would leave the bag open, especially with all the weight of the giant hardware that it had, the leather on the bag would just completely flop open with all of my things inside. So this is basically what it did. Imagine that this dust bag is made of leather, and this is basically what would happen every single time I went to put the bag down with the zippers open. So it just wasn't really easy for me to wear, and I mean, when I was actually wearing it, obviously, and carrying it on my shoulder wasn't an issue, but to be able to reach into it when it's sitting down, it was just such a hassle, and I didn't like it. Another thing is that it was very like rocker chic, and that just really isn't my style. So you live and you learn, I guess. But I definitely know that my style now and my tastes and my preferences, I need a structured bag. I don't need anything that's not gonna stand up on its own. I think really honestly all that bag needed was just some type of like hard lining in between the leather and the fabric interior. All it needed was just like a little piece of like just something that it would just kind of close on itself, or maybe a harder leather, something. I don't know, just me and that bag, we just never really got along. And I did love it and carry it for a couple of months, but I'm glad that I was finally able to sell it, because so I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that my perspective on a lot of my best and worst luxury buys will be able to help you in some of your purchases in the future. So let me know in the comments down below how you feel about some of your best and worst luxury buys, and if you have any questions about some of the things that I mentioned here today. Were you surprised with any of the picks that I made? Let me know. But I will leave links to everything that I can find, and I really just do want to remind you that anything that didn't work out for me may work for you and may work for other people. These are just like what works for my lifestyle and my taste and everything like that. So I don't regret any of the purchases that I've made, because they've helped me they've helped steer me towards other purchases that I am currently making or will make in the future. So I hope this video was really helpful, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see a new video every week. Also, make sure to hit that bell icon so you are notified when I do upload a new video. I guess that's all for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!